I had to just restart it because for the last 3 minutes it's just saying trying to connect. So the song has been playing on, but hopefully we can enjoy the rest of it. I think I just have about 15 more minutes to go on my drive, but let's just enjoy it, and I'll post the link to the song later on this afternoon or so when I get to church, so that you guys can play the whole thing from beginning to the end on your own. It's Yoruba Medley Praise. God bless you, sir. Thank you for joining. much. I just parked. I have to end the song right now. It's a very lovely, it's Yoruba Praise. I found it on YouTube, and like I said earlier, I'll post the link on this under this video at some point in time today. So I posted something personal about me that happened to me when I was married on Facebook, I think last week, and a couple of people sent me private messages, and one of them was like, wow, you don't look like what you've been through at all. You carry yourself so well. You're always happy. You're always smiling. You seem like a very cheerful person. And one would never imagine that the same person had gone through all of those things. And I smiled to myself because I'm like, thank God for grace that we all have. We don't look like what we've been through. And I pray that we don't ever look like what we have been through. I doubt if there's a person on earth that hasn't been dealt with one way or the other. You know what I mean? Like, life just happens. It just happens in different ways for people. Yes, to different varying degrees for people as well. So some people it's all smooth, and for some people it's from one wahala to another. But the most important thing is for us to be thankful at all times for the grace that God has given us, for us not to wear those problems on our sleeves, where people see you and can be like, yeah, my shield. You know, all the problems of this world, you know, is on this person's shoulder. So thank God I don't look like what I've been through. There's so much more that I will eventually share with people, but it can be overwhelming. So maybe in bits and pieces, and when I feel like I have something to connect it to, like I don't just want to come and just be like bam and throw everything out there. You know what I mean? In bits and pieces, as it makes sense to me, and as I feel like I'm led by the Holy Spirit to just reveal something. And I say this, I share my stories not because I want anyone's pity. It's been so many years. I've never been a pity party seller kind of person. I appreciate the concern. I appreciate your love for me, and I know a lot of people wish me well. Minus those people who are wishing for my downfall. God punish you people wherever you are anyway. But this I just said that. But we're going to focus on the positive here. It's not about, you know, generating pity or trying to get people to say, yeah, that's not what it is about. If that is what you think this is about, then you're so wrong on so many levels, and you obviously do not know me. If you know me well, very well, you know I don't do all of that. So when I share these stories, it's because there's somebody out there that needs to hear it. It's because I really have been led by the Holy Spirit to say that particular part, to mention that particular part, and you guys will be very surprised the messages that I get. There's so many people that I've made friends with on Facebook because of the stories that I shared. Like one person or the other will share the story, and next thing you know, I get inbox messages, or maybe on this women forums that I'm on, somebody will come and say one or two things about their marriages, and I would share what I'd experienced as well. And women are suffering. Marriages are in trouble. You know, I don't understand what's going on in this world anymore, but I'll keep sharing the stories one after the other when I feel led. Like, I may not share another one until next year. I may share another one tonight. Who knows? You know what I mean? But it's just to be a lesson, a lesson for someone out there, hope for someone out there. My story is always one of hope. When I'm talking to people, when I'm trying to engage in conversation with people, or even to do any of this kind of videos, it really is just to give somebody out there hope. Because believe it or not, that might be the one thing, the only thing that will keep that one person going, prevent them from doing something drastic. I had a friend who had been wailing over her marriage, and my husband is this, my husband is that, and one day I just looked at her, I was like, should I tell you the one I was married to? She didn't understand. And I started sharing different things with her. She was like, oh, you know, her husband would you know, when he would only buy a birthday gift or something, and would not buy Valentine's Day gift, or it was something around, you know, something centered around money. And I just laughed and smiled, and I was like, should I begin to tell you how mine was when it came to money? When we said someone is the most selfish human being on earth, it is that bad. Let me tell you a quick story now that I mentioned that. So when I would travel to the US while I was married, because I had my green card, I had no choice but to come into the US every 6 months to mark attendance. So I would you know, shop, and people who know me know that I give to people that I love more than I even would. Anybody I've dated would know that if I've dated you before, you know very well that I'm a giver. I give everything that I have. I will buy you the best gifts ever, even though most of you are just very selfish human beings, but that's a story for another day. You know, so I would use my money, buy things for this guy. Even if he gave me money, I'll use majority of that money to buy things for him, and you know, things like that. You know what I mean? So I just felt like I had enough. My own things were not, I could manage or whatever. I could look good in anything. This necklace right here, I don't even think it was up to $10. But I think by the time I paired it with this outfit and everything, I don't think you can tell. It works well. Sure, you get, I have that with me. I have that thing with me where I can make the smallest things look greater and bigger than they actually are. So again, that's another grace. Thank you, Jesus. So I noticed at one point in time that actually, let me start from the beginning where I got this wrong, and I didn't pay attention to this. So I remember when we were still courting, I was in Nigeria. I went to visit, and but before I left Nigeria at that point in time, there was nothing like fish suya in the 90s, late 90s, and all of that. When I was still in Nigeria, the only thing we had was like regular meat suya, right? And so by the time I went back to go visit again, this was like in 2007 or something, he was like, oh yeah, there's this, have you had fish suya? There's fish suya now, there's chicken suya. I was like, Nigeria has upgraded. You have gone from just beef to chicken and fish and all of that. So he took me to a joint. I don't know, I can't remember where in Lagos, but he was serving at that point in time. So he took me to a place in Lagos and to go and get fish suya. So it was like a joint, but we were not going to sit at the joint. We're just going to buy and go, right? So when we got there, he was like, oh, sit in the car and everything. So I sat in the car, and if you know me very well, everywhere I go, I always have a novel or I always have a magazine, because I just read. I love reading. So I go prepared to anywhere that I'm going to with something to read. So I had a magazine, I think it was a magazine or so in my hand that I bought from a street vendor, and I was reading it. So he said, sit down in the car. So I sat down in the car, and we were parked just like right in front of the suya guy. You know what I mean? So if this is my 12 o'clock right in front of me, the suya guy was at my 11 o'clock. You get what I mean? That's that angle. So next thing I heard, I just heard, waiting now. Now fish won't sell for 500 naira. Dude was arguing with the suya guy, because apparently he used to buy the fish for maybe 350 or 400, and then that day the suya guy said the fish price was no longer the 350 or 400, it was now 500. And the guy was explaining to him that, okay, the size of fish that you used to buy at 300, 350, 400 is a lot smaller than the one that we have now. This is like a much larger fish, and so the price has increased. You know what I mean? It's 500. But yes, my ex-husband went into a full-blown attack on this guy over 500 naira fish. This was in 2007. Went full-blown attack, 500 naira, without even caring that he carried a babe in the car. So I kid you, I can't even begin to describe. Like, if I begin to act and show you the way it was going on, you would think there's something going wrong in this car. But it was like a full-blown argument, abuse, insult on the suya guy over 100 naira difference. Like, yo, come on, man, there's a babe in the car. Me, like, guys, please help me out here. If you take a girl out and the price is of what you wanted to buy is a little slightly over what you normally pay for it, because there's a surcharge for whatever, would you go into like a full-blown argument, or would you just carry your face and just pay for it and just go, just keep it cool, act like a correct guy? But he did not. I promise you. And it was in the evening, so I think this was one of those joints where when people leave work, they all just come to that place. So come and see correct guys. Come guys dressed to the night. This was when TM shirts were like in vogue in Nigeria. I don't know if it's still in vogue, but everybody, you had to, if you were wearing a TM, you were not a correct guy if you were not wearing a Charles Hewitt or a TM shirt. So all the TM shirt guys were just passing in front of us, staring at the guy, and unfortunately looking at the nearest car to where the drama is, to see who else again was part of this. Who was in the car? Me. Let me tell you what I did. I just pulled my seat back, all the way back, and I did like this, because God forbid that anybody would see that I was part of this nonsense. It was that bad. But that was a red flag right there. But it didn't occur to me that was a red flag. You know what I mean? But it's like, it was later on that I was like, yeah, that's when at that point in time I should have known that this guy is like hell of a stingy. You know what I mean? That kind of person. The kind of person that will give you, I will give you 30K a month for house upkeep, but he would collect 35 back from you, or even 40, as he gives you 30K for house upkeep or for groceries and everything, but the yams and chickens and all that. Oh, by the way, did I tell you that when I would go and buy yam at the market, he would ask me for how much I paid for the yam, and he would ask me for a receipt. One day he was like, oh, there's a lady called Ayo who used to work in with his dad in their office and at Eagle Cement or whatever. And the guy would say, one day he came, he was like, well, how much did you buy this yams? And I told him, I can't remember how much. Maybe I bought it for like 1,500 naira or something like that, because we live in the city. And then Ayo has to commute through like a remote area before she gets to work. So she bought her own yams for maybe like 1,200 or something. So he goes off on me. Why did you pay 1,500 for yam? That the same kind of yams, Ayo bought it for 200 naira less. I was like, number one, I went to the markets in the city. It doesn't make any sense financially for me to spend 500 naira in gas to drive all the way to the village because I want to save 200 naira. Mathematically, common sense wise, could make sense to you and I. But yeah, that was the kind of person that he is. And I remember when he would bug me for, when I go to the regular grocery stores, I would bring the receipts and give it to him. But please, have you ever gone to buy tomato in the markets before, or buy yam, or buy ewedu, and they give you receipts? What would I tell the woman in the market that I need a receipt for? She understand. So one day I just got frustrated. I was like, yo, like, dude, please, I beg in the name of God, go to the market yourself. The day you can come back home with tomatoes and a receipt from the tomato sellers, I promise you, even if I buy sand, I'll make sure I come home with a receipt for it. I can give you receipts for every other thing, but whatever it is I buy in the local markets, they don't give receipts. These people are probably not educated. Well, how would I get a receipt from them? It was that bad financially. As he gives you 30K for the house upkeep for the month, before he's even out of the gate, somebody's already coming to knock on the door. Gong. Madam, Oga say me I collect 1,500 from you. For what? In collect credit. Phone credit on credit from me. Another one can go. Madam, Oga say me I can collect 3,500 from you. Waiting for what? Engine oil. Madam, Oga say... And then he would come. Person that gave you 30K today will come tomorrow and come and say, oh, please give me 5K out of the 30K. I'll give you back next tomorrow. That next tomorrow is never happening. In fact, it is never happening. Do you understand? But I can't begin to tell you. I don't even know how we got into the conversation. But what I was trying to, just examples of issues surrounding money and the stinginess. Do you understand? Even till date. So when I had to bring up, examples like that when I was talking to a friend who was complaining about her husband, who, in my opinion, based on my experience with this one, with mine, I felt like he wasn't actually quite doing badly. Do you understand? Like, there's worse out there. I have experienced the worst with my own. So I was trying to tell her, like, look, let me tell you, these are some of the things that I experienced with mine. And that's not, what I just shared now is not even 2% of finance-related, money-related things that we went through. It was absolutely crazy. I've never seen anything like that. I mean, when we wanted to do Miami Day's naming ceremony, and what I love about all of this is I have witnesses to these things. Witnesses. I remember when we were going to do Mayo's naming ceremony, one of my friends, Bosi Akinko, if you know how you can ask her this, Bosi was there, and I had told him, we need such amount of money to pay the caterer for the food. Well, first of all, there was a full-blown argument on why do we need to feed people. I'm sorry, they're coming for our child's naming ceremony. I don't know what culture you're from, but last I checked, you're Ondo just like me, you're Yoruba, you're Niger. Yeah, people feed people when they come for their child's naming ceremony, even if it's done in Nigeria. This is not a Yankee thing. You know what I mean? So there was a full-blown drama over that. And at the end of the day, the whole catering, whatever, was not even going to be more than 800 naira. No, dollars. Was it $800? I don't even know if it was up to that. This dude came and gave me 400 and said, pay for the recipe. You're also half parent to him. I don't know if guys that are watching this, I don't know how many of you will split the bill, the naming ceremony bill of your own child. How many of you have ever split it 50-50 with your wife before? Yeah, that was what I was going through. Those are part of the experiences I had with him. So sometimes when you're lamenting and shouting and screaming, some of my friends, my husband this, my husband that, I'll just be shaking my head. Chai. You're enjoying, you don't know. Come and walk in my shoes for 2 seconds, the way I walked, the shoes I walked in when I was married, and then you better appreciate your husband at this point in time. So the point I'm trying to make here is, it's not all rosy for everybody. There are even people who have worse experiences than mine. I've counseled with some women and I've heard their stories and I'm like, chai, I bow. Like, you went through this with your own husband? Like, seriously? Like, mine is not even nothing compared to theirs. But anyway, so this, again, my stories are hopefully to help someone learn. 1 or 2 things that you can pick up. It's not for gossip purposes, please. It is not for you to make fun of Koloko, Koshekine, because she's not married, she's got divorced. I know there are a couple of ladies in Maryland who I've heard do that. But Isabel, I leave you into the hands of God. I won't even spend my time worrying about what you people are doing or what you're saying. It's a free world. But if I wasn't relevant to you, you wouldn't be talking about me though. So I'm very happy that you're talking, even if it's negative, even if it's positive. So keep it up. But the whole point of me sharing stories is not because I want to put my business out there. If I wanted to put my business out there, I would have done so years ago. What I'm talking about are things that happened in 2007, 8, 9-ish. So this is like we're like 7, 8, 9 years way beyond that. So this is just me sharing stories just to kind of help you people out and just let you know that there are other people who have worked in shoes just like yours, or even worse shoes. And if you have a good husband who is providing, who is loving, nobody's perfect. You yourself are not perfect. Me myself, I'm not perfect. Like I'm very strict. I'm a very no nonsense person. I don't put up with BS. That's just me. I don't put up with BS, and I don't say BS, and I don't lie to people, and I don't appreciate it when somebody lies or is deceitful to me. There are some things that I can't stand. So yeah, and I'm a lot, as you can tell. I like to talk. That's why I MC. Okay, if you don't like, you're gonna ask God why he gave me this mouth. But anyway, I'm hoping that you guys can learn 1 or 2 things from all the stories that I'll be sharing with you. Like I said, you know, I may share a story today, I may not share another one for another 1 year. I'll just share it as I feel led to share them. You know what I mean? And I hope that by this, I'm also trying to discourage a culture of silence, which is what is prominent in Nigeria. And as Nigerians, no matter where you are in the world, everybody just wants you to shush and keep it all in. Don't share. Even if you know where they are getting a job for $10,000 a month. The Nigerian culture is don't tell anybody. If you know where there's free money in a well, keep your mouth shut, don't collect it. If you know that if you know a guy is being abused by his wife, keep your mouth shut, don't try to say anything, don't get them help. If you know a woman who's being abused by the husband, don't say anything. That's the culture that we've grown up in. But thankfully for this generation, we're coming out of that. We're not going to be quiet, we're not going to be silenced against, you know, what is wrong. What is wrong is wrong. Sure, you understand? So every now and then I'll share the story. So me, I have to go into church. Let me go and pray, because all these people that are flying up and down. Let me go and pray. I hope you're going to church as well. I hope you've been to church. If you haven't, or if you're not going, just find the church, watch online. I attend Redeemer's Chapel. Join us online, redeemerschapel.org, and go to the media center and just do the live join the live service. There's another service starting at 11:30, so I'm a bit early, but I'm going in just to go and do my greeting ministry, because I have to greet people before I go and settle down and teach my students. All right, God bless you. Thank you. I just wanted to share that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I didn't share too much. If I did, this kind of too late, I can't take it back right now. So, but like I said, thank God for his grace. We are not what we don't look like what we have experienced. And God continue to give everybody grace. I hope this week is going to be a fantastic week for everybody. I hope all of your dreams come true. Anyone having a birthday this coming week, happy birthday to you. God bless you. Thank you, because we're in the 2nd week of the month of August, so nobody's going to be sending happy new month. Oh, never mind. I guess it's the beginning of a new week, so we're going to be getting happy new week messages. Lord Jesus, help us with my people. Anyway, have fun, have a great time. We'll see each other on social media, on Facebook and Instagram, on Twitter. We'll holla on social media, since that's how you and I will connect. You people don't call me, I won't call you people either, but we talk on, you know, social media. So at this point, I'm just doing foolish things. So let me just, because I see people already dropping. Are you dropping? Okay, there's still some people there. All right, let me go. God bless you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I think I like the way I look. My makeup is getting on point. My girl is not even bad either, even though the satellites did not satellite very well. But yeah, go bad. Sean, you're looking good. You're looking good. Oh, bad. Yeah. Oh my God. Let me admire myself a little bit. Yes. I'm looking good. Now let me go inside and worship my Father. Mwah. God bless you.